I need to show you something. This is my student file from elementary school, found it in my parents' attic last month. At first, it was just funny. Old report cards, terrible handwriting, a gold star from Mrs. Patterson's class. But then I got to this section. Behavioral Compliance Index, 7.2 out of 10. Social Conformity Percentile, 68th. Authority Response Rating, moderate high. I was 9 years old. Why does my elementary school file read like a psychological profile? Pause, 2 seconds. So I started digging, and what I found? Honestly, I wish I could unlearn it. 1950s, post-war America. Psychologists had a problem. They'd mastered behavioral manipulation in lab settings, but they needed scale. Millions of test subjects. People who showed up every day, trusted authority, and never questioned the system. What if you had schools? It started quietly. Research grants, university partnerships, free psychological services for your students. The administrators said yes. Parents weren't asked. The consent forms were vague on purpose. Educational assessments to improve learning outcomes. But the real research files had different titles. Compliance conditioning in institutional settings. Authority obedience thresholds in controlled environments. They weren't studying education. They were studying control. Here's how it worked. Researcher shows up, lab coat, clipboard, pulls kids out of class one by one. First experiment, obedience. Students graded a fake test. Researcher pointed at a correct answer and said, "Mark this wrong." 70% did it. No argument, no pushback, just compliance. Second experiment, conformity. Kids sat with 5 actors pretending to be students. Simple question, obvious answer, but the actors all gave the wrong one. And real students started agreeing, even when their own eyes told them the truth. The researchers took notes behind one-way mirrors. They'd proven it. Control the environment, apply the pressure. You control the person. This wasn't one rogue professor. Dozens of universities, hundreds of districts, millions of students. Stanford, Yale, Harvard, all running programs. Michigan, 1973. Researcher walks into a 4th grade class, tells kids to draw a circle, erase it, draw it again, erase it, for 45 minutes. Some kids stopped and asked why. Others just kept going. Never questioned it, never stopped. The research paper called it sustained compliance in meaningless task environments. They were building obedient workers who don't ask why. One California district ran similar programs for 8 years. When a journalist finally asked what the data was for, the superintendent said, research was conducted within established ethical guidelines of the time. Not, we were wrong. Not, we're sorry. Just, it wasn't illegal. You think this stopped? It went digital. Google Classroom, Khan Academy, IXL, Canvas, they track everything. Not just right or wrong answers. How long your kids stared at the question before answering, whether they changed their answer, how many times, if they asked for a hint or tried alone, when their attention started drifting. Some platforms use webcam analysis. Frustration detected, 67%. Attention drift, high. And all of this data, it gets sold to marketing firms, insurance companies, employment screening tools. Your kid's 3rd grade math app could be building a psychological profile that follows them into adulthood. One researcher called it the quantified student. Every click, every pause, every hesitation. Cataloged, analyzed, predicted. Most teachers have no idea this history exists. But here's what matters. Those old studies proved something dangerous. Institutional settings are perfect for behavioral modification. Hierarchy, mandatory attendance, social pressure. The techniques they developed got rebranded. Classroom management, positive behavior intervention, social emotional learning.
Why do we learn this?
Same principles, friendlier names. Reward conformity, discourage questioning, measure everything. And the scary part? It worked. The systems they built, we're still living inside them. There's a declassified Department of Education document from the 1990s. Educational institutions serve dual functions: knowledge transfer and socialization for economic participation. Not developing critical thinkers, not creating free citizens. Socialization for economic participation, training people to fit a system. And if you need data to figure out who fits best, you've got 30 kids per classroom, 45 minutes per period, 180 days per year. Plenty of time, plenty of data. Kids' school. Ask them what data the learning apps collect. Ask who has access. Ask how long it's stored. I sent that email to 12 school districts while making this video.